What role does emotional intelligence play in your communication for alignment class, particularly in managing neurology and assessing alignability?
Okay. We talk a lot about communication in our overall work with leadership and organizations. The reasons why should be obvious, and they're just too many. Within our work on communication, we recognize mightily how the way we interact is connected to our nervous system and our neurology. They're just inextricably linked. Communication is a neurological activity. It is, and what do we communicate is what's in our nervous system. What do we think? What do we feel? Or what do we obscure when we communicate sometimes is what do we think and what do we feel? So one of the ways to have healthier communication is by using a concept from Dr. Daniel Goleman called emotional intelligence. We use that phrase a lot, and I really took some time to understand the message of emotional intelligence, and it fits beautifully with this idea of neurology. Emotional intelligence, emotions are also within the nervous system. In fact, that's probably what I think might even be a better name than emotional intelligence would be neurointelligence, intelligence about the nervous system, because we don't just think about feelings or emotions. That's just one aspect of the triad we call TFB, thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. That we believe those three things are really one unit, and they're a unit of the nervous system, and so they're a unit of communication. So emotional intelligence, or this model emotional intelligence, but that I would want to call neurointelligence, same thing. What is it, and how does it affect communication? Well, there's four aspects of emotional intelligence. The first is self-awareness. So imagine how someone who's completely lacking self-awareness would probably not be an effective communicator. Someone who doesn't know what they really think, who doesn't really know what they really feel, who isn't aware of what they're good at or what they're bad at, or really aware of themselves much at all. Awareness is the beginning of all four aspects of emotional intelligence. It's the first one because it unlocks and is a precursor to all the others. The second one being self-management. That in order to manage oneself, in communication, to maybe say the right things or to keep from saying the wrong things, I should probably be self-aware. Oh, Adam, sometimes you do think this, or sometimes you do say things a little bit. So having that self-awareness might help me manage myself better. Now, self-awareness also makes me, or allows me potentially, to be aware of other people. If I'm here, then well, they're there. They, if I'm feeling this way, then maybe they're feeling something too. And that can help me understand more. Another part of the social awareness is knowing the kind of the culture and the social vibe around me, and, being sensitive to those things, being appropriate within the context. Or if I'm not appropriate, at least to know that so that I could be prepared for potential consequences. So that's the social awareness. That's the third aspect of emotional intelligence. We got self-awareness leads to self-management. We have self-awareness that also leads to social awareness. Now, we take the self-management and the social awareness, and together they combine for what Goleman would call the social management, which is the relationship, which is where the communication happens. Right? So we want to manage the relationship. And one of the main ways we manage relationships is through the spoken word and the written word, through text, through interaction, through talking, maybe even just through being in each other's company or the way we're around each other, the vibes we give off. And relationship is mismanaged. It's likely because we're not communicating effectively. Now think about that. I have to think about it. I have to right now in my mind go, who am I not getting along with and why not? Unfortunately, all my examples are because it's the other person's fault. It's their communication. Has nothing to do with it. Now, of course, I'm being ridiculous. As I think about it, the truth is, yes, my communication absolutely plays a role in how that relationship gets managed or how it turns out. And how that relationship turns out is directly a result of either how aware or how lack of aware I was, how well I managed or how poorly I managed myself. And both of those come down to how aware of myself was I, or how versus how oblivious